What's up, my dudes, boys? We got something to talk about today. Let me just say this. This is probably one of the dumbest, most stupid things I have ever seen with real life supercross or motocross ever before, okay? What we're talking about right here is the whole Jett Lawrence letting Ken Roczen pass him for the win in the second moto of the second Super Motocross playoff round, all right? If you don't really know what happened, basically, they get down there to the last few laps. Kenny Boy Roczen is absolutely hounding Jett towards the end of the race. Looked like he was going to win anyways, okay? And then Jett Lawrence just pulls off to the side and literally waves him by him with his hand, waves him by, like, go ahead and pass me, go get the win. The last time I can remember somebody straight up letting somebody pass them for the win in Supercross or Motocross is all the way back there, like Joey Savacci letting Tomac pass him for the $1 million in a Monster Cup race, okay, which was not even like a normal Supercross or Motocross or Super Motocross kind of race. But anyways, so all that happens, Roczen wins the race, but then we get to the post-race sort of interview of Jett Lawrence, okay? This is where it gets really bizarre. He first starts off by saying it was like a baby gift to Ken Roczen because he just had the kid, like, last Wednesday or whatever it was, right? That's kind of what Jett started by saying, and then it turned into well, I'm using this big brain tactic talking about the overall scores in the moto as if it was somehow helping Jett, like, it was helping him because it was hurting Chase Sexton somehow, but it doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense at all. There was literally no reason for Jett Lawrence to let Roczen pass him, okay? Jett tried to make it sound like there was some kind of it somehow hurt Sexton by letting Roczen get a first place in that second moto. It somehow hurt Sexton, because it was gonna make it to where, Jett Lawrence is thinking it's him versus Sexton for the finale round, and this was somehow gonna hurt Sexton. I don't know. There's no kind of logic to it, bro. It don't matter how you twist it. It don't matter how you turn it. There was no fucking reason for Jett Lawrence to let Roczen by, okay? The real talking Spency boy is about to tell you what it really was. It was Jett Lawrence not wanting to get straight up ran down and passed in a race for the win. That's what it was, okay? Period, straight up, point blank. Now, I know there's some people can kind of flip this around and try to turn it into this thing of it wasn't necessarily helping Jett to try to fight Roczen to win the race because Jett was going to get the overall and the maximum points in the race, whether he got first in that second moto or second in that second moto, okay? I understand all that, and some people are also making this argument of if Jett let Roczen pass him, then Jett's like the dude that's in control of stopping Sexton from getting up into a better position versus it being in Roczen's hands, being in second place. I get all that. Okay? But still yet, at the end of the day, it still don't make any fucking sense to let Roczen pass him. It just doesn't. First of all, how do we go from, Jett Lawrence, it's like everything to him to win every single moto in the outdoor season? How do we go from that Jett Lawrence to, I'm just going to let Roczen by. I'm just going to let him by for the moto win. What? That doesn't make any sense, dude. None of that makes any sense. I don't care how much of a Jett Lawrence fanboy you are. He just didn't want to be caught straight up and passed straight up. That is all this was. There ain't nothing more to it. And so basically, Roczen chimes in on social media. I'm paraphrasing here, but he's basically like, whatever, bro. Like, you can call it a baby gift or whatever, but, it wouldn't have made any difference in the overall, talking about like Chase Sexton and where he was at in the overall. It didn't change anything about that. It didn't do anything for Jett, really, to let Roczen go by. It just didn't. The only way I look at this is it just gave Roczen more confidence. That's what Jett sacrificed by letting him go by. And I guess Jett's thinking of it like, well, let me wave him by so that he doesn't get the even more confidence of passing me straight up and beating me. But that's some bullshit. Like, that's some... I have zero respect for that kind of racing right there. It's like, just man up and get beat, bro. Man up and get beat, bro. I don't give a fuck about what the overall was or wasn't, or if you got second, you'd still win the overall. I don't give a fuck. You're supposed to be Mr. Jett Lawrence. You're supposed to be Mr. Perfect Boy. It goes against everything that motocross and supercross racing is all about. It's a confidence game. You don't let anybody pass you. You don't let any of that shit happen. That's what it's really supposed to be about. So, like, Jett can try to twist this up in some big brain conspiracy all he wants to, but you just got beat, dog. You just got beat, dog. Whether or not you pulled over and waved him by, he was catching you. He was on your ass, dude. At the end of the race, very end of the race. You didn't want to accept that, and that's why you waved him by. There was no other solid, good reason for you to have let Roczen by. There was just no other reason. You were probably getting hounded by Roczen to the point where it was starting to annoy you a little bit. You were having to push so hard to keep Roczen behind you at that point. So it was basically just let me let him go by, and then I'm going to take this second place because I didn't even really have to win to get the overall. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you're also Jett Lawrence, and that goes against everything you were trying to be, like in the 450 Outdoor Championship, being perfect, winning every moto, even though you didn't have to, right? Even after you won the motocross championship, you didn't have to win any more moto for any kind of championship. You still went out there, and it was life or death for you to win every single moto. You were putting every bit of effort into every single moto. So, now you want to act like, well, it don't even matter if I win this moto. I'm still going to win the overall. Well, I'm going to get back here in second place so I can control what Sexton's doing. Bro, there's no way to twist it. There's no way to turn it. It was bullshit. Okay? Straight up. Spency Boy tells it like it is. You know what's up, dog. This is one of the weirdest things I have ever seen from any pro motocross, supercross rider. I've never seen Jett do something like this before, but it seems to me like he's trying to keep this sort of, perfection, God tier level, nobody can touch him on a 450 kind of allure about him. He's trying to keep that intact, right? He's trying to keep that in. Nobody straight up ran, Jett Lawrence down and just straight up beat him before. Nobody's really done that yet in the 450 class, even though he got like a fourth and a second in the first super motocross race or whatever. But still, it just seems to me like he's trying to keep that sort of idea about him alive. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to keep that sort of mentality about him going, that he's this perfection, not even Roczen can touch him, Sexton can't touch him, Tomac, nobody can touch this kid. He's just on a whole nother level on it for it. He's not even trying, right? It just all screams to me that he's trying to keep all those individuals that were thinking that about him, he's trying to keep them tricked up. He's trying to keep them brainwashed into continuing to think that nobody can touch Jett Lawrence. But in fact, what happened was Roczen beat Jett Lawrence straight up. That's what happened here. No matter if Jett Lawrence waved him by or thought this or was big brain on this or he was doing that, it doesn't matter. Roczen beat him straight up, ran him down, and beat him straight up. That's the way I'm going to see it, and that's all there is to it. Later, dudes.